Hello everybody, my name is Sam and I don't have a lot, but I live well. And that's the topic of today's video, and that's something that I want to share with you and talk a little bit about, because I want you to have the same life that I have. I want you to be as happy as I am. I know a lot of the time in my videos I don't come across as being very happy. I think I'm quite serious on camera. And I'm actually a lot different to how I was when I lived in the UK. An awful lot different. One day I'm going to make a video back in the UK and you guys are going to see my real character come out, and you're going to see exactly who I am when I go there, when I'm hanging around with my friends back in the UK, and when my real accent comes out and stuff. But the reason I'm making this video is because I want to share with you a little bit about my life, how happy I am and grateful I am for the life that I have, and also I want you to have the life I have. I moved to Russia 21 years ago. When I moved to Russia, it wasn't because I was fleeing the bad West or anything like that. I just really wanted to come to Russia because it was somewhere that I was always interested in moving to, and so I moved here. Now, I've had average jobs during my lifetime. I haven't had, amazing professions or anything like that. I've had some real ups and downs. I've had some businesses that have made me money and some other businesses that I've lost a small fortune on. But at the moment, I'm lucky enough to be on the housing ladder, to have an okay car, to have an okay income, and I live pretty well on that income. Now, if I lived in the UK, I wouldn't live well at all. The prices, the cost of living in Western countries is really high compared to Russia. And I'm lucky to be able to have built this house here now. It's nowhere near finished. It's a work in progress. But I couldn't even dream of owning something like this in the UK. So this is my car, and I know I get loads of comments say, Sam, you drive a Porsche, you must be a millionaire. Well, this is something that's kind of left over from my previous life, I should say. And as you can see, it's got the plastic thing hanging off there. It's got dents and scratches all the way around it. It's got another one here that you can't see because of the dirt. And yes, it's a Porsche Cayenne, and yes, it's a turbo. It's probably my dream car, but it's something that I can't really afford. Now, I'm extremely lucky that I made some good investments, and so I've got a little bit of money each month for me to live off, and I've secured a loan to finish off my house. But in no means am I a rich guy or anything like that. But you don't have to be ridiculously rich to live well here. Okay, I live in Vladimir, a provincial town in Russia in the neighboring region to Moscow. And if I had the same amount of money that I would need to buy this house, then, well, in the UK, I'd probably have a terrace house. Привет. There's my neighbour just saying hello as he walks out his driveway. So I've just spoken to my neighbour and he's given me permission to walk on his plot, which is opposite his house. One thing I've been doing a lot of lately is walking. I've been trying to get in my 10,000 steps a day. I've got one of these Apple watches that I bought a while ago and I never really used, because I hate how it tells you your pulse and all these things. I don't want to know that stuff. But I'm enjoying just going for walks and making these videos. And now that the weather's so much nicer, it's great just to go for a walk in the countryside, talk to you guys, make some video content for you guys, and at the same time try and get a bit healthier. I've been on the keto diet for the last, almost 3 months now, and I've lost 13 kilograms so far, and I'm looking a bit skinny. To be fair, I've lost quite a bit of muscle mass as well, which is a shame, but I feel loads better. And to be fair, I feel a lot better than I have done for an awful long time. I'm very happy right now. I'm very content as to where I'm heading, where I'm going. I've been seeing a lot of things happen around me, people that have died, people that have had serious operations, and I realised that I'm very, very lucky. That is something I didn't really used to think about before. Also, I'm speaking to so many people because I don't know if you know, but I take free phone calls on Mondays. If you want to book a free phone call with me, samsrussianadventures.com, and we can have a chat about anything Russia related. If you want to move to Russia, for example, I can give you advice. Obviously it's free, just, you know, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Unless you want to donate, can do if you want. But yeah, I speak to you guys that are thinking of coming to Russia, and you guys tell me about all the problems you have or you face in the place where you're living now. And it makes me realize how lucky I am and how fortunate I am to have moved to Russia. And again, I stress this, I didn't move to Russia because I thought, wow, you know, I need to get out of the UK because it's falling apart or anything like that. The problems that most people talk about now with regards to the UK and to the Western nations, well, they didn't really exist when I lived there. It was a different world, so to speak. I realise how blessed I am to have the life that I have. Now, I understand also my life is very easy compared to a lot of you guys because I'm single, right? So I don't have the responsibility of having kids, having a wife that I need to pay for, that I need to look after, that I need to, you know, take care of, not only financially, but also responsibly with regards to growing up of my kids and stuff, right? And so I understand that. But if I could give you one bit of advice, it would be to consider making the change, consider going to another country, consider trying it, just try it. I've just realised now it's going to be a steep walk to go back up again. So there's supposed to be a river down here somewhere. I don't know where, I'm guessing it's probably just at the edge here somewhere. I was really hoping that I could buy the plot of land that was opposite my house, but it's classed as a forest and therefore I'm not allowed to buy it. My neighbour was lucky with the plot of land opposite his house that I just walked on because it wasn't classed as a forest because there's not many trees there, so he was able to purchase it, whereas I'm not able to, but nobody's able to, so it doesn't really make any difference. It's just a wild forest that people go walking their dogs through and collecting mushrooms in, and yeah, people go for really long walks. My neighbour that I spoke to a minute ago, he told me that they're going to build a little bridge over the ravine because there's loads of mushrooms further through the forest apparently. I can see that someone's been down here in a car. Oh, and now I see why. This has been made into some sort of temporary dump. It's a shame. In the past, I always thought that I was chasing something, chasing a dream, chasing a goal, chasing something, and then I've got to the stage where I realise now that I'm just very content with everything the way it is. I enjoy going to the banya with my friends. I enjoy having barbecues with my friends. I enjoy going for walks all over the place. I enjoy little get-togethers that we have with our friends sometimes where we go away for the weekend. Now, I don't often film a lot of activities that we do, and the reason I don't film these activities is because everyone wants to relax, and there I am with the camera filming, and so it's not really comfortable to film everything that's going on. If we go somewhere for the weekend to do something, people just want to relax. They don't want their things that they do after they've had a couple of whiskies to end up on YouTube. I think I'll go back up this way through the forest, but that's oh, this would be a good ski slope. In fact, pretty steep indeed. Oh, this is a steep walk, this is. Blimey. Oh man, perhaps I shouldn't have took this one on. With the camera, it's almost impossible to walk. This is the video where Sam breaks his neck live on YouTube. Man, whew. Gotta respect my neighbour, how he's planted these little trees all the way around, look, all the way around the plot. In a few years' time, that's going to be amazing. I've played on some football pitches like this when one team is at the top playing downhill. I'm sure if you're from the UK, you'll have played on some football pitches like that as well. Ha! Crazy, I remember my childhood now. Oh, it's great to get out into the countryside and go walking. I think hiking is going to be something that I really start to take seriously. I love camping already. I was hoping to get myself one of these Lada Nivas that I can just drive off-road and go anywhere that I want to. It might be that I end up getting one of these quad bikes, these ATVs perhaps, or something like that. Something that's maybe more suitable, I don't know. The Lada Niva, it might be a good thing, we'll see what happens. So for some reason, most of the neighbours like to go on this trail here, which is the trail that is opposite my house. Now obviously I do have some goals, right? I want to finish off my house. I'd love one day to have a house with a pool, whether it be that I put a small pool in this garden, or whether I end up with a house somewhere else in the world. I've always dreamt about perhaps having a house in Spain. Now, I'm not talking about a massive house, I'm talking about a really small house with a little pool that I can get for less than 100 grand. That's obviously in the future. Right now it's about getting this house finished, and so that I can start moving forward and start saving more money, because when I'm living in a house that I don't have to rent and don't have to pay bills, obviously I can then save that money. So here we come out of the forest, and we're greeted, I should say, by my house. I've never really been one for bucket lists, because when I make a massive list, it almost kind of like, what's the word? What am I looking for here? What's the word? It overwhelms me, the huge list. And because it's so big with so many things I've got to do, I'm too overwhelmed and I can't start doing stuff, and I just get stuck and freeze. And so I do have a list of places I'd like to go to film YouTube videos for you guys in Russia. That's a list I have. But what I do is I take a few items from that list each day, and I try and do those ones in the daytime, and I don't actually add anything more to the current list until I've done them, so that I don't get overwhelmed. I'm also somebody who suffers from insomnia, and so another thing that I do is I don't make plans until the day. I have an idea of what I'd like to do, but I've realized that if I make a to-do list the night before, then I won't do the things that I've decided I'm going to do. And so the best way for me to do it is to say, right, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll choose the tasks that I'm going to do today. A lot of people that haven't been to Russia before have been convinced by the BBC News or whichever mainstream media news channel they watch that there's no freedoms here in Russia, that we're not free to do anything, that almost we have policemen waiting on the corner with their truncheons ready to hit us if we have an opinion. The one thing they don't realise is that Russia is freer than the place that they live now. It's freer than the UK, that's for sure. All foreigners, when they come to Russia, they realise how free it is here. What is freedom? What would you class as freedom? Is freedom the ability to walk around at night in a city or in the countryside and feel completely safe? Is that freedom? What about if you live in a country like the UK where you can't say anything that might offend somebody, even if it's true, where you can't have an opinion about a particular subject because you're going to get labelled and cancelled, where if you complain about something online you get imprisoned? There are so many rules in places like the UK, and in Russia you're free. And it's so interesting to see the difference when you live somewhere that is free. I'm not trying to advertise Russia right now. I don't know how I got onto this. Obviously because I live here and I'm content and I'm happy and I'm free, that I end up speaking about stuff like this. I don't want you to come to Russia, right? I'm quite happy doing my own thing. But if you want to come to Russia, come here. If you want to go to another country where you're happy, go there. Do what makes you happy. Because life is really, really short. The one thing that I'm scared of more than anything is being on my deathbed, or that 10 seconds of realizing you're about to die and knowing that you didn't achieve the things you wanted and you didn't do what made you happy. Think about it.